Hello and welcome to the next episode of Should I Buy This? Today I'm looking at Destiny of Light, which is an indie developed game. It's $1.50 on Steam, so you're not going to lose much. But how much could you possibly gain? So as you can see, I'm about an hour in. Not too much has really happened. I did look up the reviews on Steam. There was only one that was quite negative, saying that he couldn't find the miller, and then he died, basically. I assume it was a he, I'm sorry. I can understand that, as the translation does seem to be a little bit iffy at times, but for the most part you can work it out if you actually take the time to read the menus, which I had the same problem he had. When I actually read the advice that popped up on the screen, it was all very clear that I was just a moron. Now, you can move with the arrow keys, and enter does most things, or you can use the mouse. I find using the mouse quite clunky. I'm not a fan, because you've got to click and then click. Not a fan, so I tend to go with the mouse option, with the keyboard option. It's fairly straightforward. Your dudes are a little bit squishy at the start. It is a turn-based combat system, so think like old Final Fantasy VII. If you enjoy that style of game, which I really did, this might be up your alley. I'm not too far into the story, so hopefully it won't give too much of the story away. But basically you walk around and you can walk up to things like that and press enter and it will collect stuff. Whether or not that stuff makes sense to you, that's another kettle of fish that I cannot answer for you. All of your early monsters, they go down pretty easy. I will say the menu system, which I will show you once I kill this bat, was a little bit confusing for me. Just because it's so large and there is so much you have to do, if that makes sense. I'll show you now. You access the menu by pressing escape, and as you can see, there is a lot happening here, which props to them. Fantastic. I like games that have a lot of stuff going on and a lot of things to learn, but maybe it's mixed with the kind of slightly poor translation or the slightly clunky system. I find it a bit difficult to find what I'm looking for. So if you want to look at their equipment, you can see that I'm wearing nothing and I have a club. But what I didn't, well, I kind of realized but wasn't too sure of, is that you can actually make more weapons. So you can, you can have two weapons equipped at the same time, as you can see. It's not clearly explained how the equipment system works. From what I read, you can choose your classes, you can choose how you level up and all those things. I haven't encountered that aspect yet, so maybe it's a bit more in depth. Maybe I can choose. I have played a little bit further than this, but this was my last save file. I know you can buy bows and things, so maybe there's a way I can spec into it because I couldn't seem to equip it. So I don't know if I'm just dumb, which is very possible, or if maybe it just needs a little bit of fine-tuning. But as far as I know, this is the only game that they've released. It is Ohio Software. I'm so sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And then this is where the other dude got confused. So the passage is too dark and we need a torch and fuel. It says we can use Miller to recycle a mushroom and get the fuel needed. Great. Then it came up with this, which I just skipped through, and I imagine he did the same thing. But the Miller is actually an item in your inventory. It is not a person. So I did run around for probably about half an hour looking for a miller, as in a human that was going to mill these things for me. That is not how it works. Instead, you have to go in here, you've got to go craft, you've got to go craft item. No, you don't. So you've already done it wrong. You have to go items, you have to go consumables, and you go mushroom, and you go recycle mushroom. with the miller. And that is how you make the fuel. So it's a little bit clunky. It's not a straightforward process where you can just click, fuel, done. It is a few more steps. To move around, you can use the mouse, like I said, but I find this big square quite jarring, and for me, it ruins some of the immersion. That being said, there is a slight delay to, well, not quite delay, but there is a bit of a difference between when you press the buttons and when you actually do go to the place. So it's half a dozen on one, 6 of the other. In your first combat, you almost die. Oh my god, so sad. I'm so sorry I'm giving away the story. And you activate what's called Lightbringer mode, which seems to be just like spells you can cast, from what I can tell. Healing, extra damage, and this is like a bubble. Early on, I would strongly recommend always having the bubble on, because as you can see, the mobs do hit for a fair amount, and you don't. So the bubble kind of saves you from that, because she could very possibly die in this combat without it. I don't know why I'm missing everything, but apparently that's what I am. I'm hoping that you unlock more attacks, but so far I haven't. Although it did say I unlocked something, lead or something, but I can't find it. I don't know how to use it. And like I said, there's some mild translation issues, so maybe? Oh, they do have another game, I'm so sorry. It's called Best Tales of the Crashed. I haven't played that. I think it's $2 on Steam. This is $1.50. For a fully fledged game, that's not too bad. Part of me kind of wants to play through to see what the end is, what my destiny of light is, but whether or not I'll actually have the time to do that, I'm not sure. So you collect bits of animals, fairly standard stuff, and you need stones and things to build your weapons. Overall, I'm not sure how I feel about this game. The translation errors do make it a little bit tricky for me to get too involved in the story, because sometimes it's just a bit disjointed and weird. But it is somewhat engaging. I want to know. Why did their village get killed? Who are they? Why do I have Karen and Cowan? I'm not sure. But I'll show you into the cave, and I'll show you how the questing system works and all that kind of stuff, just to give you a bit of a better idea of whether or not you want to spend that whole $1.50 on it. That's $1.50 Australian monies. So if you're in America or something, it's cheaper. Okay, so we've made the fuel, we've made the torch. So now, oh no, we haven't made the torch. So now we've got to go back to craft, and we have to craft the torch. There we go. And then and now we can use the fuel on the torch. That was Freya. She just wanted you to know all about her. And we can go in this place and collect stuff. Look, she has strong opinions too. And here we can look at rags. Oh wait, no, it's carcasses. My bad. There's something inside the carcass. It could be a bug. They're coins. So this is... That was the completion of a quest that I didn't even know I had, which seems to be a fairly common theme. And you walk around in here. You can look at these bones for some more money. There's some stuff in there. Delicious. Another quest I wasn't aware of having, but I completed it, so go me. And then from that, we can craft some armor. So we want to get our people decked out. And it doesn't choose a thing for you, so you have to choose one yourself. And then I probably want to give her a second weapon, honestly, if I have the stuff to spare. Yeah, I do. Okay, so like I said, I find this menu system just a little bit Just a little bit irritating. So does Freya. Okay, so there you go. I've done that. Now I've got it. Whee! I got mana essence, whatever that is. What's this for? Don't know. And then I completed another mystery quest. Well, Freya's rubbing herself on a wall. So I'll just try and get through this combat, and I'll try and take you to the next town so I can show you. So as you can see, now that I've equipped armor, I just take no damage. I don't know how long that lasts for. I'm not 100% sure if it's damage reduction or if it's just I can soak X amount of damage and then I take damage. It's not really explained, which is fine. It's probably not the end of the world. I'll be able to figure that out myself as time goes on. But it does leave a little bit of a kind of gap in knowledge for how best to equip my dudes, and means that I have to do a little bit more figuring out. They all escaped because they're jerks, and we can leave this stupid cave. Which I will say, because of how that worked, I thought that I had to go into the cave to get to the next place. I thought it was like a passage, think Pokemon. It's not. It's just a dead-end cave. Okay, so let me just skip ahead a bit. This is the world map. This is the first time that you see it. This is the first time I've seen it. This is a green rat. Apparently that's a thing. Once you have equipped, learn to speak, 2 weapons, you do a bit more damage, so it's a bit easier to get through the combat. Okay, so if this is all the combat is, then it will be quite boring to work my way through the entire game, so I'm not sure. This is the first little town you have. From what I can tell, if they have a name above their head, you can talk to them. And you can buy things, and if they don't, they won't talk to you. So this is his farm, and we introduce ourselves. It's good times. That makes no sense to me. I don't know who Zenzo is. I have no context for that sentence. I don't know if that sentence was related to me being here, if that was a separate thing and was mistranslated. I'm not sure. Yes, let's visit. So, every time you meet somebody, it's a quest for a social presentation, which you're once again not aware of. You're not given that quest. That's just an inherent quest that you always have, apparently. And now I've talked with him about gardens, and now he wants water. So this is how the questing system works. You can see, oh, I don't have enough coins. Oh, help me water the crops and I'll see what I can do. Could you get some water for me? You accept the quest, we'll be happy to help, thanks. And then you have to close this. But as you can see, there is a list here that shows you all of the quests that you will be able to do for him. So it's not a mystery. It's not, how long is this quest chain going to be? You know exactly how long it's going to be. Are they side quests? I'm not sure. Do you need to do every single one of them to get to the next place? I don't know. I've done the first 3. I've done the first 3. And so far all it's done is given me more and more of a discount at his wife's shop. But are they necessary? I'm not sure. But once again, it's $1.50. If you want something that's just going to kill even an hour of your time, $1.50 is well worth it. Someone's put a lot of time and love into this, and while it's, in my opinion, it's obviously not a complete game to the standard of Final Fantasy or something, it still functions. It works. It does everything it's supposed to do so far. I haven't encountered any issues besides the translation problems. For instance, that cool discount. And that's something that I can live with. If it's going to be a good story, if it's going to be a decent, engaging game, I don't mind if I have to retranslate in my head a bit, that's fine. So whether or not you want to check it out, how much do you like RPGs? Will there be a system where I can kind of customize my characters a bit more? I'm not sure. But like I said, for $1.50, what have you got to lose? You may as well have a look at it, see what you think. If you like RPG type games, if you like turn-based combat. If you don't like either one of those things, don't bother. You're not going to like this game. Nothing wrong with the game, but you're not going to like it. I've been Mooglepeep, or Moogs as they call me. This has been Destiny of Light, and should you buy it?